Joe Giglio for NJ Sports Now on this Monday, November the 10th, as we can officially put a bow on the New York Giants, season 3-6 now, after a 38-17 defeat at the hands of Seattle Seahawks on Sunday afternoon out on the West Coast. The Giants going into that fourth quarter 17-17, trying to win a game few thought they'd have a chance to win, and it all came crashing down in the fourth quarter as the Seahawks run wild really all afternoon, but especially late in that game, racking up 350 yards rushing and really sending the Giants home with more questions than answers, and sending the Giants home looking at themselves in the mirror saying, what are we, what kind of team are we, and why are we losing? And why are we losing in this fashion? I think that's the question fans of the Giants have had here over the past few weeks. And Jason Pierre-Paul, one of their supposed leaders on defense, recently used the word heart and saying the Giants don't have enough heart. This was before the Seattle game, and then you watch Marshawn Lynch and Russell Wilson run down the throat of the Giants, and I think it is easy to question and to bring up that word heart. The Giants don't have heart, and that usually is a reflection on the head coach, Tom Coughlin. It would be a reflection on the leaders of the team, including Pierre-Paul. You go to the offensive side, Eli Manning, Antrel Roll, anyone that has been around a long time and been a part of this Giants team. If the Giants are playing without heart, it is on those leaders. But when I watch the Giants, I don't see heart being the biggest issue. To me, if heart is the biggest issue, you don't show up for that game after getting blown out on Monday Night Football at home against the Colts. You don't travel to Seattle on a short week, go there, play even, in fact, play better than the Seahawks for a lot of that game in terms of turnovers, making plays, keeping themselves in the game. Thought Eli played really well. Odell Beckham obviously looked like a star out there being covered or tried to be covered by Richard Sherman. So to me, heart wasn't an issue. If you go in to the fourth quarter even with the defending champions in a place that is very, very difficult to win. I mean, the last two seasons, only two teams have gone to Seattle and actually won a football game. The Cowboys this year, the Arizona Cardinals last year. Winning teams, it takes a winning team to go to Seattle and have a chance. The Giants, obviously here, going in at 3-5, leaving at 3-6, are not a winning football team. But I don't believe heart is the biggest issue with the New York Giants right now. I believe it is a talent issue. And look, you could say the word excuses when you bring up injuries, but it is a part of the story. The Giants here, on their best day coming into the season, I thought they could be a 9-7 or 10-6 team if all the additions they brought together came together. If Eli Manning gelled in this new offense, which actually has happened here, and if they could really become the team they thought they were in summer when they put together this great secondary and all these players and a new defensive line, new pass rush, everything they tried to do, if it had come together, I thought the Giants could be contenders. But it didn't come together because injuries have set in, specifically in the secondary. When you lose a McBride, when you lose a Walter Thurman, when you lose a Prince Amukamara playing the way he had been earlier this year. I mean, you look at the game yesterday against Seattle and all the runs and all the read options, that's where you miss a guy in the middle like John Beeson. The Giants have been ravaged by injuries, and really they were one of those teams before the year that everything had to break right to go 9-7 or 10-6. If everything had gone, kind of in the middle, I think they would have been a 7-9 or 8-8 team, an average football team. Now, as you see, things are going wrong in almost every area. The offensive line, they haven't had Jeff Schwartz really the entire season. He's their big money offensive line free agent. Rashad Jennings, who had run well earlier in the season when they had a 3-game win streak, he's been out, and you could see Andre Williams, the young back, just isn't ready to carry the load. The Giants have a lot of issues. I don't believe heart, I don't believe effort is the reason that we are staring down a 3-6 football team that is going nowhere fast. This is a talent issue, and you could argue Jerry Reese didn't stock the shelves enough, didn't put enough depth on this roster to handle injuries. But right now, when you line up the Giants roster on a Sunday-by-Sunday basis, they're usually outclassed. That has nothing to do with effort. That's all on the personnel. I'm Joe Giglio for NJ Sports Now.